Massive short squeeze on Wall Street today as spiders and triple Qs ended up sharply higher. Do we have a bottom confirmed, or is this the bear market bounce? We're going to do that and much more here, but spiders finishing up 1.7%, triple Qs up 3.3, Dow up 1.18, and then we had the IWM here up 1.39. Amazon is getting a huge bid after hours, and that is kind of adding fuel to the fire. This can go to 265, possibly 280. Actually, we're looking at Apple right there. There's Apple should be out shortly, if that's not out now. Yes, it is out. So there's 320, because we're doing this in real time here. So Apple at 320. That's a buy the dip, actually. So if that is gonna not change, it should be right there, 320 on AAPL there. So I'm just kind of doing this in real time right now. Let me see if we can get another look in on that. I just want to see if I can get my real time thing up here. Sorry, just bear with me. We're doing this, and I'm just reacting live here. So, yeah, 320. So it looks like that might be a low here, a buy the dip for Apple. I'm not trading it, although it is possible here. It is certainly possible if you wanted to scalp it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, either way, a very nice day on the street. You can see ES here still up big on the day, and Amazon got a pump. That can go to, like I said, 265. I was trying to say that a minute ago, but yeah, 265 there. It is possible that that goes to, I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's possible. It can go to 280. So there's your right tail all the way up there, which would be an all-time high, like double top. So yeah, we'll see what happens outside of that. But really today, and they got close to 265 here as it's coming off the highs. But today, a short squeeze and a little bit of a gamma squeeze too. I was not able to do the live stream this morning as per usual, but we did have 680 on the board on the Qs this morning, and like that was actually looking like resistance. So dealers were short there, and they blew through that very quickly. So and they turned it into support too, even on the dip here, which is I don't see this very often. When you got an LG1 and it's the dealers are net sellers there, and the price is dipping, usually they don't flip to buyers while it's dipping, and they did that. So it was very, very, very strong signal that we got in it. As the spiders were dipping, the Qs were strong here. I will say this. I know right now, before you even comment, you're going to talk about the breadth. Okay, well, you had 197 advancers in a 1.7% update. Usually that's not, the best thing, right? I will say though, the McClellan did inch up. So I believe on the NYSE it was fine. And equal weight S&P was down, but I mean, it made a new all-time high 2 days ago. But this was a semiconductor sell-off, right? So it's a semiconductor rally. So there's that. The other thing is that, I was just saying this myself. I picked up some SOXL yesterday, as well as TQQ, by the way, tons of profits banked here. And we have a sale going on for one more day, Friday at midnight. It's over with. Get in on that while you can, because absolutely amazing day. TQQ, SOXL, NQ, ES, hundreds and hundreds of points here today in both services. But I did trim off SOXL into the close. I just don't really love how it didn't pump with the market at the end of the day there. To be fair, we did close above the low from OPEX on both SOX and SMH. And we closed above the prior high of the last 2 days. And we gapped, basically gapped above the high of yesterday. So we just wiped out FOMC bears, anybody who was short semis. And we mentioned this yesterday, then, it's funny on X and then even on here, one of my favorite indicators is the comment section, right? Oh, you idiot, you dumb bull, right? Yeah, I'm just telling you, this setup was here this whole time. I mean, you had a buried, 4 hour on, NQ, ES, QQQ, right? And I mean, you can fight me on it, but I'm just looking at the data. Like every time we get 4 hours sold on the Qs, it leads to a tradable low. So, I mean, I guess it worked, right? So either way, the big question is, are the lows in? Well, you definitely have a huge pump here. There is a minor cycle date that I've had penciled in for the end of the month. And, we got a reaction here. I would call that, I mean, you could call it triggered from yesterday. Usually it's like 3 to 5 days on either side. I'd say 3 for this one. It's a little bit shorter term, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't rule anything out for Monday until, and this is what I would say here, is don't be surprised that, yesterday everybody was laughing at me into the close. And now today, all the bulls that flipped bearish are like, oh, the lows are in. So don't be surprised if it gets retraced tomorrow, right? Don't be surprised. So, trim gains on the way up here. But I mean, nasty failed breakdown on that trend line there on the S&P, but we can complete it by closing above 74.80 on the weekly tomorrow. If we trend tomorrow, and by the way, I think we trend tomorrow. I just don't know if it's going to be up or down. I don't know if that helps you, but that's kind of where I'm at here. And I don't think we'll have that little whip here. It's just going to go in one direction. Speaking of one direction, look at the NQ this morning. I was a little upset. I got up early to trade this, and it just never gave us a pullback. It just went, and I said to the members in our Discord, I was like, watch this area here, on ES too, watch 73.90. And we just kind of like went up. Like there was no acceptance. And that's the worst type of algo if you're the bear, where it just goes up like that, it doesn't react. Because you keep waiting for the mean reversion and it never comes, but it's not going up fast enough to stop you out. Before you know it, you're under the water. But anyway, a very nice pump here. I mean, 50% fib, 200 MA on NQ. Sounds like a great place to go short, right? But yeah, anyway, I would watch that 74.80 tomorrow on the cash S&P. NQ still have a long way to go. But, I mean, I'll just say, if you can close above Monday's high, that would obviously be a positive. It doesn't really need to, but, I want you to hold that weekly 20 MA. That would be nice. And I guess the June 8th low on the weekly close would be nice. Also, another thing, just a reminder here, the May lows are holding as of now, unless we puke tomorrow. And possibly the June low too, right? So that was, so there it is, that June 8th low. So those are levels that we'll be watching tomorrow. Now, if we, the IRGC, the greatest force in the history of the world, does something over the weekend and we gap down, where am I looking? Well, I mean, right at the 618, right? So I don't think that changes, that this really changes much if we were to sell off sharply here, right? Now, if we were to sell off sharply, like at the end of next week, after we've kind of worked off the oversold condition, then it makes it a little bit different. But if we were to like gap down and like flush, like even tomorrow, if we fade this and we flush out, yeah, that's still going to be support there. Yeah, you're just going to get right back to being 4-hour buried, and then how the daily will be buried at that point too. So that's why, time matters more than price more often than not. I know it's a hard concept to figure out. And I mean, we talked about this on Tuesday. So like, don't be surprised if we come down. It's a nice rebound, but don't be surprised if we come down. Everybody got bearish into that close. Oh, it's a breakdown, right? But it didn't really change anything. The setup was still the same. So anyway, enough of that. Let's see what Apple's doing. Yeah, 320. So that should be supported for the most part. By the way, Microsoft, anybody else catch that? We gave that one out for you guys for free, and it went way past our target. And we'll see above the 200 MA. Let's see if that holds this time. My bet is it will, because it had a really good pump and held the gains. So anyway, well, that's what we're looking at now. Russell and the Dow getting the smaller bounce. We mentioned the semis. Definitely a close above 550 would be nice. By the way, stocks here, you can't make this up. I swear, if we go rip higher, I swear, we're looking, here we go. If they do this thing again, I'm like, just close below the low, hit the lower trend line, sweep it, and then take up the falling wedge. I mean, my goodness, the amount of rage that will ensue on the internet will be entertaining. But anyway, cloud able to scratch out a gain mostly because of IGV, but a lot of cloud stocks were down because semis were up. But not all of them. A few. Oracle had a really nice day. But you had CRM, like INTU, these ones that have popped lately, they came back in. Adobe came back in. But yeah, Oracle, really nice move. I think, yeah, Palantir came in up 8% there on Oracle. Another stock. Yeah, great short here. Yeah, we get it. They spent too much on CapEx. Tell me something new. Into support here. All right. And by the way, when that's the narrative, all it took was Microsoft to say we didn't spend any extra on CapEx. And boom, look at that. 15% on a $4 trillion stock. All right, anyway, transports here back to the 100 MA. So that's a level you want to see hold in a bull market, as we know. DLT got destroyed. Well, it's only down 5 cents, but it's been destroyed here. I think 82.50 holds for the week. Not saying much. Maybe it dips a little bit next week, but I don't really like bonds here. And you would say, well, why are you saying stocks can go up? Well, because you got to pay attention to how our economy is now. It's not the old school 60-40 anymore. We're in fiscal dominance. So you want to know what the real macro rage trigger is. It's the 30-year going to 6% and the S&P going to 8,000. And that can happen. I don't think it happens right away, though. Anyway, by the way, speaking of headlines here, I know we got a lot to cover. Anybody else here? Ken Griffin. I was joking about this in Discord, and then it actually happened. So they liquidated situational awareness. So these guys, they're all in Korea basically, and they came out with this whole thing 2 days ago. Remember, we joked about it, like nobody would. There's no way you would give away that alpha if you actually believed it. And then 2 days later, they bought the dip, of course, and those dudes got liquidated. And Ken Griffin took over his portfolio now. So Citadel owns all their assets. There's Korea. I really wish it got to 4,900 or so. I would have definitely picked that up. But anyway, XHB down 16 cents. IYR down as well. XLF managed to scratch out again. No problems. 20 MA tag. It's in an uptrend. KRE inside day down. Broker dealers, really good outside move. Oil, nobody cared about oil today because it was not the fulcrum, and it was kind of quiet. I do think 130 right now is, well, let's see, you can actually close below that. So that might have changed a little bit into tomorrow. On USO, no, maybe not. So maybe it gets up to 130 again tomorrow. It's only $3 away on USO. But yeah, it looks fairly supportive here. So it should be fine into the weekend. XLE red to green. Nice. I was impressed with that. XOP held that those moving averages we talked about. OIH getting a bounce, but I just don't love this here. I don't like that pattern either. Needs to firm up. Dollar got hammered. Absolutely smacked. Dollar yen, there was definitely intervention. How could the market be up then? I told you about that like a couple of weeks ago, why that was the case. And who knows, maybe now they had to get shorts out of the market. Now they'll hammer it. But that's definitely intervention. Gold, nice day still. Even with the dollar down, what was it down like 1%? 90 basis points. That's a huge move for the dollar. Gold still can't get above this level here. Let me fix that. It's still struggling with it. New contract there. Silver, again, nice day, but look, I mean, can't get above. So I got to think these have one more drop left in them. Palladium is trying to trigger that inverse, though. Unless we just get a bear flag failure, which those are very powerful. And lastly, about rates and gold and everything. I don't understand why people are trying to say that Kevin Morris hiked rates without hiking them. I'm sorry, dude. Are you not looking at the 2-year? And are you not looking at the 3-month? It's basically collapsed today. Yeah, the long end went up. That's not good, though. We don't want that. This is not what the Fed funds goes off of. So, yeah, this whole talk about him being... Anyway, copper here, Green Day, nice move. Bitcoin, there is an update here, actually, for once. And I know it's a longer video, but there's a lot to cover here today. But yeah, watch this wedge. So we had a nice breakup, chopped around, and it held this inverse head and shoulder, right? There's your, kind of a sloppy right shoulder, but it's holding. And now we've got kind of a wedge here. If we go into the 4-hour, So this is acting as support. That's resistance. If this breaks through that, that should get us up to target. If not, well, then it goes down. But at least we have a little technical pattern to watch here now, as opposed to just pure chop. So anyway, we'll see what we get here tomorrow. We'll see if we crash or not. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if it gets retraced. I would say for the S&P, SPX, I mean, you probably, yeah, 7,400, that would be like a good area to retest and maybe fill out some of this. Let me get rid of that. Fill out some of the air here. I don't think you want to go too much lower than that, really, on the cash S&P. Or, yeah, let's say for ES, that'd probably be like 74.20 to 25. So anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We got a sale for one more day. We're absolutely killing it right now. Jump in on that. We'll see you guys all in the morning.